Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Defining Discipline podcast. I'm your host, Scott. Defining discipline is a lifestyle, a mentality, and a brand. And within this podcast, we're going to focus on self-improvement as you follow along with me on my journey. We'll also hear from special guests of all walks of life on this podcast and their remarkable journeys that led them to where they are today. Today is day 204 of my journey. At the beginning of the year, I challenged myself to run 365 days in a row, all outside bearing the elements, whatever they may bring. I also challenged myself to run 1,500 miles within this time frame. Now, this is my second year ever running. Within the first full year of running, at the age of 31, I was able to run 1,002 miles, and I did that within 175 days out of the year in 2020. So me going for 1,500 miles is over a 50% increase in the amount of miles as opposed to last year that I did. And me going for 365 days is over a 100% increase in the amount of days I ran last year. Not to mention this year will be all days in a row with no days off. Also, within this time frame, I challenged myself to run two big races. One of those races was a 50K trail race that was in Yankee Springs State Park in Middleville, Michigan. That was on June 5th, 2021, on day 156 of my journey. Not only was I able to run up to that race and then run the race and then run ever since the race and keep the streak alive, but I was able to actually run the race, which was, like I said, a 50K trail race. It was a 31-mile race. I got that finished in 7 hours, 15 minutes, and 22 seconds. So I am officially an ultra runner. Now, also within this time frame coming up, I am also going to be running a marathon. That is the Detroit Free Press Marathon. That is in October, and I'll be running the Motor City Challenge of that marathon. And what that entails is me running the competitive 1 mile as well as the competitive 5K the day before the actual marathon, and then going out the following day and running the marathon. This marathon still currently is just in Detroit as I know of now. But it normally is a international marathon, but the borders were closed, but they do plan to open the borders here in August, so they may be able to hurry up and readjust that race and go back to the initial race of being an international race where we start here in Detroit. We would run across the Ambassador Bridge into Canada, Windsor, Canada to be exact, and then we'd be running back under the we'd be running back under the Detroit Windsor Tunnel back into Detroit to finish off the last, I think, half of the race for the marathon. So that race I was really looking forward to. That was the race I wanted to do when I signed up last year, and then it got canceled. Then I had to defer to this year, and then it's going to be in person again. But like I said, international was kind of out of the cards, but it may be back in the books. So fingers crossed still, guys, hoping that it goes to an international race. But that is the other race I will be running within this year and within this challenge. Nothing to do with this challenge or within this year, but I will be also probably signing up for another 50K trail race within early early just 2022. And I will also be trying to sign up in mid-2022 for a 50K trail race. That is the goal. 50K, not a 50K. That's what I'll be doing for the... Sorry, guys, I'm completely out of it. I'll be doing the 50K trail race in early 2022 to prepare myself for mid-2022, and I'll be doing a 50-mile race is what I'll be going for. That is the next mileage I'll be upping from 31, the 50K, to the 50 is the next big race I want to try to go for. Other than that, though, let's actually talk about today and daily mileage and all that. So today was day 204, like I said, and I got out there again today and put in 6.7 miles for the day. I started off the week with 4.8, but then did 6.6, 6.6, 6.6, and today 6.7. All these 6.6s, they were like right on the 6.69, so they were like right on the cusp of 6.7. Today was just, the fraction a little bit longer to get that 6.7. Maybe I ran around a person or something that gave me that extra little bit to hit that 6.7 mark. So hit 6.7 for the day. That put me at 31.4 miles for the week, which put me at 147.5 miles for the month. That also put me at 948.5 miles for the year. Now we will focus in on these monthly miles because every single month I challenge myself to do a 100-mile challenge. And I do that 100-mile challenge in honor of a charity in which I donate money to. And not only do I donate money to, but I also start a coinciding fundraiser to try to raise money and awareness for that charity. So in the first 6 months, we were able to raise money for 6 great charities. Now we're sitting here in the 7th month, the month of July, and we're raising money for our 7th month, or for our 7th charity for the 100-mile challenge, and that is the Detroit Phoenix Center. And what the Detroit Phoenix Center does is they focus on helping getting the Detroit youth homeless rehabilitated, getting them places to live, getting them good food to eat, getting them cleaned up, helping them find a good education to also get jobs and just finding a job depending on their age. They work with anyone from ages 13 to 26. Like I said, and it's within the Detroit area, and it's the homeless kids that, are still just really starting out their lives, and they're starting off, a foot behind everyone, and these donations will truly go out to help them, get back on their feet and really get started. Like I said, it helps them get food, shelter, education, and jobs as well. So if you would like to donate to this month's fundraiser, you can find the link to do so on the Defining Discipline Instagram story or the Defining Discipline Facebook story or my personal pages, Instagram or Facebook stories. Within those stories, you can find on the top of the stories, it'll say donate on Facebook. You click on that, it'll open up the page on Facebook where you're able to make your donations. All donations that get made go directly to this fundraiser. Facebook is not taking any portion of your donations, so know that. I do know times are tough. Not everyone is able to afford to make a donation right now, currently. I get it. If that is the case, do not feel bad. The best thing you could do, if you'd like to still help out, though, is just click that share button. When you click that share button, guys, it truly helps out a lot. We're just trying to raise awareness for these charities as well, just to let people know what they're even about. I never even really knew what the Detroit Phoenix Center was about, so I really kind of did a little bit of research and found out about it, and I think it's a great cause and a great charity. So you just sharing it and letting people know about it, getting it in people's minds goes a long, long way. Even if they don't make a donation right away or whatever the case may be, just letting people know that it's out there. Maybe even you are sharing it with someone who is younger and, maybe they see it and something happens and their circumstances change and they become homeless. And because you shared this, now they may have somewhere to go. So there's a lot of different scenarios that can come from you just clicking a share button. It doesn't hurt you. And it really helps a lot of people more than you know. So your actions can mean a lot more than and go a lot farther than you truly expect. So click that share button, get your donations in. Even if you got your donations in, click that share button, guys. It truly, truly helps. Other than that, we can kind of get ready to get into today's episode. But right before that, we are going to talk about the word of the day as well as the book that I have been reading. All right, so the word of the day is expropriate, to deprive of possession or property rights. I can't even say that word. Propriety rights. To transfer the property of another to one's own possession. That is the word of the day. Expropriate. Expropriate. You can't probably even say that word right. But I tried, so that's the thing, is I'm trying to get these words of the day. All right. Other than the word of the day, guys, we are going to talk about the book I have been reading. In the last few days, I had told you that I kind of fell off again, but I would get back on, and I did. So I didn't read last night, but I did get up this morning before work, had a little bit of time, didn't get the full 30 minutes in, but I did get 20 minutes in. I got a little bit farther within the second rule in Beyond Order, that is by Jordan Peterson, his second book in his 12 Rules for Life series. So far, great book. Really enjoy it. Just like the first one. The first one was life-changing for me. It really helped me change my mental attitude and really start taking on some responsibility and owning up to things and really setting goals for myself, which we're here now, as you can see. So I would like to really contribute a lot of that to this book and David Goggins' story as well, but just his 12 Rules for Life book, though, because I have been talking about the Beyond Order, which is the second book, and so far I feel is just as good, even though, I'm only a couple chapters in and I have not finished it yet. I can tell you it is on par with the first book. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so let's get into today's episode 204. So for today's episode, today's theme is going to be educate. Now, All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into today's episode. So for today's episode 204, today's episode theme is going to be educate. I want to talk about educate today because I think it's something that we all lack. We all lack to continuously educate ourselves. I think once we hit that certain age, our egos take over and we don't ever try to learn anything new. We don't ever go out there and try to really not even learn anything new, but necessarily always re-educate ourselves even on what we know. We get stuck in this mindset, I feel, that we know what we know and it's good enough to have gotten where we have gotten, so there's no need to learn anything more. Everything I know is what I need to know to continuously survive and to just move and move on and move on and move on. And while that is correct and that's kind of a good instinctual thing to do, it is also not a very smart thing to do. There's so much that we can learn if we just take the time to educate ourselves. And really, it's simple as just putting in a little bit of time a day, whatever the case may be. Maybe you want to re-educate yourself, okay? We'll start with re-educating. There's so many times, to give you a perfect example, I brought up my music before. There were so many times when playing music, I didn't want to educate myself anymore within learning different scales, learning different styles. I was set within what I wanted to do, the music I wanted to play, and that was it. I didn't want to learn anything more. And looking back on it, it was the dumbest thing I could have done. All I needed to truly do was just learn a little bit more. Maybe jazz wasn't my official style, or blues wasn't what I truly wanted to play, or whatever the case may be, whatever genre, The thing is the more you learn and the more you start to expand and be able to go within any of those genres, the more your genre will get stronger. The more you can just take a little style away from that certain genre, a little bit of funk and a little bit of jazz and a little bit of rock and a little bit of hip hop, and you could just all blend it together and have your own little style, and it can really strengthen your style that you currently have, And I just missed out so much on really trying to get better. And it's not too late. I can always just pick the guitar back up and really get back into learning, even though that's not where my passion is currently at anymore. But who knows? Maybe I will one day. The point is I could have took the road of to re-educate myself, something I was already good at. I could re-educate myself and strengthen what I was good at even more, and just become better at it. But I decided to pass and let my ego tell me I was good enough to do what I wanted to do, and I just settled. So there's so many times when you can truly re-educate yourself, and one good way to really re-educate yourself, if you feel like you do know a lot and you feel like maybe you can't go out there and just maybe learn maybe whatever it is. It's not like music where you can just go out there and maybe learn a different genre, or there's nothing really that can help you brush up on it. The best thing you can do is you can teach. If you really want to re-educate yourself within something, when you go out there and you teach something to someone, it really makes you brush up your skills within it. It makes you really have to understand it better to be able to communicate it to someone else to let them understand it. So in order to do that, you're going to have to relearn it in a different light that you've never learned it in before. And as you're doing, you may rediscover things that you have forgotten. So there's always ways to truly re-educate yourself, even if you truly think that whatever it is you're doing, you can't get better and you're perfect at it. So you could always re-educate yourself and get better and get smarter. And not even just to re-educate yourself, but today's episode was just about educating yourself. And what I see today is a lot of reliance. Not a lot of education, but a lot of reliance. A lot of us can read, and a lot of us are just searching for answers and not truly critically thinking, I guess, and not truly educating ourselves. And I'm guilty of it myself, guilty of it all the time. But what I truly mean by that is we rely on other people's educations to answer our own educations. We rely on other people's whatever they figured out for us, and we go with it. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's a good way to do it. Everyone in their profession has specialized in that for a reason. But there's nothing wrong with also a little bit of self-education. Not to argue with the person who has mastered their field or whatever the case may be, but it's always good to continuously educate yourself, to continuously go out there and try to learn more about whatever it is you're interested in. It doesn't even have to be something that may make you money. It may just be a hobby, but it's truly good for your brain. It's good for your health to continuously go out there and try to learn more and try to just take in and continuously take in. I truly believe it's when you stop learning and when you stop trying to do new things and educate yourself and re-educate yourself, and you just kind of get set in your ways. It's really when you start to become super stubborn and spiteful, and I don't know. I'm not trying to judge anyone or anything like that, but I just think everyone should be a little bit more open-minded, and everyone definitely should always continuously try to educate themselves. And, this whole point of this podcast is me talking about these things because these are things that I am working on, and these are things that I need to do myself. And, I've been trying to do that. I've been trying to truly learn and educate myself and get better at the things that interest me. For instance, running. I started running, and didn't truly care about learning anything about running. Didn't care about learning interval work or pacing. I didn't care about any of that. I just wanted to go out and run miles and see how many miles I can run and see if I can, run so many miles within a year. Like that was the goal at first, and just to run a marathon, not to do any times or worry about any of what I'm worrying about now. And, it just took a little bit of interest. And then as I started doing it, I realized, I do want to get better and I do want to learn a little bit more. And just me going out there and educating myself within the field and going out there and trying new things, educating myself within, nutrition and the way I'm going to try to recover and the way I have been recovering, educating myself within, even recovering with stretches. I came across a huge knee injury last year in the middle of my training and was trying to run through this bad knee injury, couldn't figure out what the problem was. Come to find out, it just took me doing a little bit of studying, a little bit of education to find out the whole time it wasn't even my knee, it was my hip. All I had to do was start stretching. I wasn't stretching correctly. So there's just so many different things that I learned throughout this year by truly just going out there and educating myself. And the one true way to do that is to go into it and saying, I don't know anything. I need to learn. For the longest time, I had that mentality where I know everything. You're not going to teach me anything. And it isn't until you go into things with the open mind saying, you don't have to go in with, a mind, down in yourself. I don't know anything. I need to learn. But you can go in there with, I know some things, but there is much more for me to learn. I don't know everything. And, what I do know is little compared to what I can know. So to really try to follow that motto is what I've been really trying to do. And it really works. It really helps. And for that reason, I want that to be your daily discipline, guys. I want you to really, instead of being confident and thinking that there's no room for improvement, there's nothing to learn, to really go out there and educate yourself and get better. And for that reason, guys, your daily discipline for the day 204, it is to educate yourself. And to be open-minded with it, to really go out there and tell yourself there's always going to be room for me to learn more. Never be so confident within whatever it is you're doing that you are blind to the fact that you could always improve yourself, that you could always educate yourself a little bit more within whatever it is you're doing. So that is your daily discipline today. It is to go out there, educate yourself, re-educate yourself, whatever the case may be. Just be open-minded to the fact that you can learn and relearn. It's never too late. I know a lot of people out there are thinking, well, maybe it's a little too late for me to start over or for me to learn this. It's never too late. It's only going to get later the longer you wait. So just get out there, educate yourself, re-educate yourself. That is your daily discipline for the day 204. Other than that, guys, I want to thank you so much for following along and listening to the Defining Discipline podcast. Again, my name is Scott. I am your host. This is episode 204. If you guys can, please give this podcast a like, a subscribe, a follow, and a share on our Facebook, our Instagram, our YouTube, our TikTok, and whatever podcast streaming platform you guys have been listening and following along on. Other than that, the whole basic message of this podcast, guys, is just to try to go out there and live a better life and try to lead by example, to really focus on self-improvement. I truly believe that if we want to make this world a better place, the first person we have to start with is ourselves. We could always become better. There's always decisions we make within our lives that could be better decisions, and we're always going to continuously have those decisions to make. So if we continuously work and improve on ourselves, we will continuously make better and better decisions, and us making better decisions only reflects on the world, and hopefully our better decisions will reflect on other people to make better decisions, which will reflect on other people to make better decisions. And Again, the whole message behind this is to really change the world one person at a time by working on ourselves. Other than that, guys, thank you so much for following along and listening to the Defining Discipline podcast. I'll see you guys tomorrow for episode 205. I think we're going to try to do a super early episode before I head out to work. Other than that, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.